Hi, I'm Wendell G, reporting back from the Weeble. A little bit froggy today. Came back from Black Mesa with a bit of a cold. Um, there's two schools of thought on colds. One is exposure, and I certainly got a lot of that. I was sleeping out in the back of my pickup truck, under the stars, the cold, very cool night wind, and blustery out there a few nights. And the nights it wasn't blustery, it was pretty chilly out under the stars. But the other school of thought is, contact, and I shook a lot of hands and renewed a lot of acquaintances out there. So, who knows, man? Maybe it was some of each. There was plenty of sniffles out there, and there's no telling. In my classroom, I've adopted. I went from handshakes to fist bumps, which really cut down on my contagion I was exposed to, but not completely. And so I went from fist bumps to elbow bumps. So. Anyway, that really cut down in the classroom on spread of typhus. So, what do we got here? Speaking of the spread of typhus, Moscow mules. Been gone, basically missed the entire month of May, and here it is, late June, and I'm finally catching up. Moscow. We were, before the sim, we were in 4th place behind Seoul, and now we're back and forth with Seoul for the final wild card spot in the north. We got a good wild card contest going on as Amsterdam runs away with the division. We had a really good week, though, this week. We took 2 of 3 from Amsterdam, and we swept Dublin. But it's been an unusual week. Look at Seoul taking 2 out of 3 from us, Vegas taking 2 out of 3 from us, Buenos sweeping us in 2. So we're kind of upper mid-division team at this point. And, pitching is ahead of our hitting, and we're pretty good defensively, second in the league defensively. Offensively, we're just we're hitting the taters, but we're not really doing much else in terms of getting on base. We got to get people on base, and our runs scored will go up with all these taters we're hitting. We got 29 stolen bases. What the crap is going on, man? What do I got to do this, people? Oh well. We've had some really good performances this year so far from Jaime Robles, who has had at least one 20-game hitting streak. I think he was on a 22-game streak. He may have had another one. And then Kustance out in Voldemort Kustance also in the outfield. Our outfield trio is leading the way with us right here, both in batting average and with power. Valencia is our DH and occasional first base guy. RBI, surprisingly, Wiener Deemer is helping us out on the RBI front. He's my utility infielder guy. I guess it shouldn't be surprising because nobody else is helping us out on the infield front. Payway struggling at the bat. I might have brought him up a little bit too early, but nevertheless, he's going to pay his dues this year, and he'll be sitting in the catbird seat for us next year. Zippo, his battery mate back there, also struggling, but both of those guys should be a great tandem at catcher for us in years to come. Lieutenant Dan, he was injured for about 3 or 4 weeks, and he's come back. This dude's on a tear, hitting .343 for us. Lieutenant Dan, without no legs at second base, just making it happen for us. Conversely, Mario Duarte has been a disappointment, hitting .241, and Hugo Ziziki at third base. He likes his gyros with tzatziki sauce. .243. Valencia, our DH, in .215. This, if there's one thing I need to fix, it's this guy, and I think I know what I'm going to do there. I need to make one little change, and hopefully we'll get more productivity out of that. So we'll see. Payway, I've been moving him around the lineup, and maybe it's time to just drop him down because I wanted to protect him in the lineup and see if he got fatter pitches to hit, but it hasn't really helped him yet. So maybe I need to make it. Look at this. Left, switch, left, right. I need to switch these guys up. Rotation. I've been experimenting back and forth with a 6-man rotation. Leo just tossed a beauty at Dublin, complete game shutout, 4-hitter, and glad to see Leo coming around. Tripod, stuck him into the starting rotation. He's done well. Sasaki doing well. Marrero doing great for us. Great acquisition in the offseason, if expensive. And Brick Mason, had a rough year, win-loss, but he's doing okay. He's giving up some runs this year, but he's going to be all right. Scoo is doing fine. Scoo Code doing fine down there. Let's see. I just made a change in the bullpen. Who did I change? Think. Before I get to the bullpen. Let's see. Katakai is 3 games under 500. Our AAA team. AA team is way under 20 games under 500. Oh, man. And our single A team is right about 500. So AA team is really bad this year. I really haven't paid any attention to them to speak of. Prospects, Gallegos, cooled off after a really hot start in AAA. Leading a whole lot of love. Catalov is soldiering in AAA, but not soldiering very well. And who else? My top prospect's not even listed here. Adrian Jones hitting well in AAA. That's a surprise. Barry Birch, Ronnie Berman, Juan Guillen. All right. I'm just kind of rambling. Not even sure what I want to talk about. I already talked about the schedule a little bit. Here we go. 1 minute. Well, the nice thing with the pause button is I don't even have to say 1 minute. I can just go ahead and have my little sneeze and get on with it. All right. Let's see. At home, this team is constructed for home games. We're 28-15, 13 games over 500 at home, but we're 8 games under 500 on the road. So I approve of being well over 500 at home. I like this. Team's playing well in our home ballpark. Not so great on the road. Extra inning games were about even. Okay. 1-run games were 3 games under 500, 8-11. Meh. As long as we're close to 500 on these, it's no real cause for huge alarm there. I'd like to get that better, of course, and a little bit better bullpen should help us in the 1-run games. We're 8-7 versus lefties. Yeah. 29-25 versus righties. Yeah. We're 6-4 in our last 10. I had a 12-10 April. We have not had a losing month so far. Knock on wood. Knock on my head. 12-10 April. 14-14 May, and a 11-8 June. Already talked about the batting. Pretty mediocre. I like the taters we're hitting, but we got to get more people on base. Next to last in the North League in on base percentage. So I got to get that number up. That's probably going to be my primary focus for the rest of the year, the off season. Getting our OBP and batting average up, and runs. Getting our offense, basically working on the offense. You know, I was talking with old Lloyd the other day, talking about this, and you know, if I had gotten, what's that guy's name? Ryan Connor. OU got him for $5.51 million. I think I offered him around $5 million for 2 years, maybe 5.5. I don't know what I offered him, but give him a 2-year deal, just about the same. And OU gave him just a little bit more for the 1-year deal. I was talking about it earlier. You know, I was just talking with Lloyd. If I had scored that guy, you know, my offense would be a lot better. So, interesting. I don't know. I've just been thinking about that. One bat. When you got a lousy offense like me, one little bat can make a difference, man. One big bat. Pitching has been fine. I'm really happy with the pitching. Not so happy with the defense. This is a good telling indicator. Hits allowed, we're best in the North League in allowing hits, fewest hits. ERA, second in the league overall. Runs allowed, second in the league. Our pitching defense is good. But BABIP, 5th in the National League. I think this means if I improve my defense a little bit, my fielding, I should say a little bit, my defense is going to get better. So I like this. It helps that we have the Weeble's strikeout leader in the top of our rotation. If a guy can't get on base, he's not going to hurt you, right? Well, if he can't get out of the batter's box, he's not going to hurt you, right? And here again, talking about the BABIP, the defense efficiency is 5th in the North League. I keep wanting to say National League. Defense efficiency is 5th, and BABIP is 5th, and these two go hand in hand. So that tells me my defense needs an upgrade, and I need a bigger bat in the lineup at DH. So I think 2 little fixes, which I can probably pretty easily make. I need to go check those out. Will help a lot. What else? Let's go look at injuries around the league. Before I get to injuries, let's look at transactions before I forget about it. Yep, this is the way I am in the classroom. Tangent on a tangent on a tangent. And for the most part, most of my students like it. A few of them get pretty lost, though, so I don't blame them. Poor kids. Behind me, around me, outside me, you can hear the sound of chainsaws, the lovely sound of autumn chainsaws in the distance as my neighbor gets some much-needed tree trimming work done in his yard. And the primary thing he needs to do, though, is to cut down that god-darn cottonwood right in his backyard, right behind his house, right towering over my bedroom. He needs to cut that down. Dennis. So get it done, Dennis. Don't be chinching around with the crappy stuff. Anyway, sorry. I might just cut that. Okay, well, back to transactions. Only one real transaction of note. My buddy Bodon Oberg hurt his arm. He's got to go on the DL and fix it up. We signed a few minor league free agents, basically insurance for the stretch run. If we need somebody to eat up some innings for us. We gave our 2045 third round draft pick to Buffalo, to Lloyd, in exchange for his 23rd year, Pedro Martinez. Comes in 2 flavors, shaken and stirred. And you can tell his whip is 1.70, 4.4 walks per game, and ERA 7.06. Not had a good time in Buffalo this year with the Weeble. However, I was looking at Martini, and he had a pretty good year last year. He started 28 games in their rotation. Went 9-11. Not bad for a losing squad last year. 4.13 ERA and 1.34 whip. And that whip has been a continual improvement. You can see since 2041, 2.0, then 1.5, then 1.42. And then promoted to the bigs in 1.34. He's 23. I think he's going to grow above. I think he's still going to grow. Although my scout, Super Mario 9000, thinks he's maxed out. I think he's going to be fine. Yeah. So I've got him in the pen. He's a great lefty option for us. I'm using him for right now as long relief and middle relief. And, of course, he can go in as a loogie if I need to. I like this guy, ground ball pitcher. Kind of had my eye on him for a while, and I was glad to make the trade. I feel like I got a good deal for my third round draft pick. What you unhappy about, Martini? He's a little bit unhappy about coming out to Moscow, but he's really unhappy with himself. Relax, man. Relax. It's going to be all right. What's his desire for win? Normal. All right. All right, Martini. I think Martini's going to be just fine for us. I think there's a chance he could be a steal. He could be an absolute excellent bullpen player, perhaps even grow into a starting rotation role for us. I pity the fool who has to go out and mow my yard. Oh, that's going to be me. I let that yard grow up so thick. Dadgummit, I keep hoping for an early freeze to kill it. Ain't going to happen. Maybe we'll get a grass fire and just burn it off. No such luck, right? That was our only transaction of the of the recent period, only real transaction. To make way for Pedro's, Martini sent down Nuno Favola. You know, he looks good on paper. Super Mario 9000 thinks this guy's legit, too legit to quit. Super Mario thinks he's a starter. And, I mean, look at all the green here. Not so great with the slider. Maybe he throws that slider too much. Is he got any intelligence at all? No, low. Maybe that's the problem. He doesn't know when to throw the slider. Maybe he relies on that slider. You can see with that 7.78 ERA, 1.53 whip, minus 0.8 WAR in 17 appearances, and 19 innings for a minus 0.8, 56 ERA plus. Lots of red flags about this guy, but he's 23. He's okay with being sent down to AAA. He's got a good attitude. 3-1 win-loss record, 3-1. He's given up contact hits, 21 hits and 17 earned runs in 19 innings. He's given up 8 home runs in 19 innings. That's 3.7 home runs per 9 innings. That's far more worrisome than the base on balls of 4.1 per 9 innings. So I'm inclined to think his movement is either not where Super Mario 9000 thinks it is, or he's just too dumb to know when to throw that, when not to throw the slider. Everything else about this guy I really like, so, you know, I haven't given up on Nuno. Nanu. That's all of our transactions. Let's go jump over and look at the league injuries. I need to school myself. Although, you know what? Let's just put a break here. I'll get this uploaded, and we'll talk about the league. We'll go around the horn, around the league.